Searching for and Maintaining Peace, Part 1, Section 6. Goodwill, a necessary condition for peace. The interior peace that we are considering cannot, of course, be shared by all persons independently of their attitude toward God. Those who oppose God, who more or less consciously flee from Him, or who flee from certain of His calls or His demands, cannot be at peace. When individuals are close to God, love and desire to serve the Lord, the usual strategy of the devil is to cause them to lose their peace of heart, whereas God, on the contrary, comes to their aid to give them peace. But this rule is reversed for those whose hearts are far from God, who live in indifference and evil. The devil seeks to tranquilize such individuals, to keep them in a false sense of quietude, whereas the Lord, who desires their salvation and conversion, will trouble and disquiet their consciences in an effort to get them to repent. One cannot enjoy a profound and durable peace if he is far from God, if his inmost will is not entirely oriented toward Him. You made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you. St. Augustine. A necessary condition for interior peace, then, is what we might call goodwill. We could also call it purity of heart. It is the stable and constant disposition of a person who is determined more than anything to love God, who desires sincerely to prefer in all circumstances the will of God to his own, who does not wish to consciously refuse anything to God. Maybe, and even certainly in everyday life, his behavior will not be in perfect harmony with this desire, this intention. There would undoubtedly be many imperfections in his effort to accomplish this desire. But he will suffer, he will ask the Lord's pardon for this and seek to correct himself. Following moments of eventual failure, he will strive to come back to his usual disposition of wanting to say yes to God in all things, without exception. Here, then, is what we mean by goodwill. It is not perfection, nor sainthood achieved, because it could well coexist with hesitations, imperfections, and even faults. But it is the way, because it is just this habitual disposition of heart, whose foundation is found in the virtues of faith, hope, and love, which permits the grace of God to carry us, little by little, toward perfection. This goodwill, this habitual determination to always say yes to God, in the great things as in the small, is a sine qua non for interior peace. As long as we have not acquired this determination, a certain uneasiness and sadness will not cease to abide in us. The uneasiness of not loving God as much as He invites us to love Him, and the sadness of still not having given all things to God. Because the man who has given his will to God has, in a certain fashion, already given Him everything, we cannot truly be at peace as long as our hearts have not found their unity, and our hearts cannot be unified until all our desires are subordinated to the desire to love God, to please Him, and to do His will. This also implies, of course, a habitual determination to detach ourselves from all that is contrary to God. Here, then, is what goodwill consists of, the necessary condition for peace of the soul.